Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here. Saturday morning. We're doing Saturday Share Love Club. Mike's acting weird. I don't know why. Yeah, the Raptors are getting a lot of acclaim this season. Not necessarily for their winning record, but not necessarily for things to do with the court. I mean, there are things on the court that are admirable with team chemistry, considering we're losing and stuff like that. But for our graphics, our jerseys, our banners, our courts, our whole motif, our style, are the way we present ourselves, the way we do things as an organization. You know, I've shared the love for the in-game ops people in the past and this summer, but I've shared the love for people like a designer or like a creator like Casey Bannerman. But there's just such good quality images and things being produced by MLSC and the Raptors right now that we're getting critical acclaim across the entire NBA. Some people have said that our City Edition jersey now is the best City of Jersey any year, not just this year. Of course, it's the one for this year. It's the best one, but it could be the best one ever out of all the years they've been doing City Edition. That our Dunk logo jersey is the best City Edition jersey. Some people have seen this court that they played on the last game, and they said, just lock it in. That court is beautiful. We could just play on this court forever now because it's such a cool court. I mean, I don't disagree in some ways. It's a beautiful court, but we should switch it around. We should have some variety. I think we should, you know. But yeah, the Raptors graphic designers, I don't know y'all's names. Whoever was coming up with the concepts, that logo, the Dunk logo, the Raptor for Vince Carter, whoever came up with the idea that we're going to do the City Edition jersey with that logo on it, whoever came up with the court design for both the in-season tournament and the City Edition jersey court, kudos to you. I want to share love for you because you're bringing prestige, you're bringing honor, you're bringing respect to the Raptors franchise league-wide. And it's awesome. I love it. In some ways, our jersey sales rival a lot of the other cities. You know, New York, LA, they're going to do pretty good. They got LeBron James. They got different players that, they can sell a lot of jerseys for. But the Raptors, historically, since the very beginning, have done well in jersey sales because of the early look of our team with the dinosaur jerseys and the points and the colors and the new look. It just didn't look like anything else in the league at that time. And in some ways, we've continued this tradition, good or bad at times, throughout the whole 30 years of the Raptors team. You know, there's been some dead spots. I would say the Bosch Calderon era had some pretty bad jerseys overall. But for the most part, we've been pretty cutting edge with our looks and our graphics, very clean. Like I said, we set a new precedent, a new tone for jersey retirement banners. That jersey retirement banner is going to be mimicked now by all the other franchises in some ways. Now, the old franchises won't do it, like the Lakers and Celtics, because they have their very plain number banners, and they have a set thing that they've already done traditionally for before. But newer franchises like the Pelicans, like the Hornets, like different other franchises, they may actually adapt some of the things that we did with our Vince Carter retirement banner and copycat us. I feel like when I watch Raptors games, there's a certain quality to everything. There's a quality to the sound. There's a quality to Four Corners, the DJ. There's a quality to the T-shirt tossers. There's a quality to the in-game ops games. There's a quality to the dance packs. There's a quality to Herbie. There's a quality to the whole in-game experience at Scotiabank Arena that we should be proud of. And that in some ways, the courts and these jerseys that I'm talking about today are just indicative of the whole scheme of it, that we just do things right. I mean, seriously, you can watch on League Pass, you can see other teams behind the scenes, their in-game ops, the people that do the stuff for them in all the areas that I just mentioned. And it just isn't the same. There isn't the same quality. There isn't the same kind of feel to it. The very thought out, really well designed feel to it. Some of this other stuff is just they're just throwing stuff out there and throwing darts at the dartboard, hoping they'll hit a bullseye. No, we should be proud of our franchise. We put out quality. We put out quality graphics, quality jerseys, quality courts, quality celebrations, and retirement banners. Yeah, Vince said it himself. I mean, the Raptors, what they did for him for his jersey retirement ceremony, everything all around it, the plane, the jerseys up all over the city. There's just so much. And that even that statue that we just made recently with the raptor doing the dunk logo, we just go above and beyond. And I would be really interested to see what the Brooklyn Nets do for Vince Carter later this season for his retirement. I'll bet you he won't even get half of what he got from us for this thing. He won't get half of it. He won't get any of this kind of stuff that we're talking about right now. In some ways, to Vince, the only thing that's really mattering to him about the Brooklyn jersey retirement is that he's going to be up there next to Dr. J, one of his heroes. And in some ways, that means a lot to him. But man, healing the wound with the Raptors nation and being back good with us, that's priceless. I mean, going up next to Dr. J, sure, that's priceless too. But these are different things that hit in different ways. I'm just saying. So I'm proud of my franchise. I'm proud of the graphics department. I'm proud of the creative directors. I'm proud of the people who directed our team to put out such quality, awesome stuff this season. And I'm proud that the rest of the league and other places in sports are recognizing the excellence of what we've done with our jerseys and our courts this season. It's not just like both of the courts are badass. The City Edition jersey is top notch, king of City Edition jerseys ever. It's just, in some ways, let's toot our own horn this morning. Let's share the love for the excellence of the imagery of the Toronto Raptors franchise. In some ways, we've made iconic jersey right away. It's like we came in with that jersey with Damon and them, instant cult classic right away. Boom. And it was already like a cool jersey. People were kind of, oh, that's funky. It's weird. It's not normal. It's different. I'm not used to it. But over the years, people got used to it. And then it became a nostalgia marker, a marker of mid-90s NBA. And when people see that old dinosaur jersey from the very beginning, the inaugural season, they get real warm, fuzzy memories and feelings of another time. That's awesome. To accomplish that with your first jersey ever in the league is something special, because a lot of teams have first jerseys that nobody remembers or cares about, gives a shit about. Our first jersey that people give a shit about. It's one of the most popular retro jerseys in the history of the NBA. And I just say that the innovation, the idea, and maybe even the fact that we had the audacity to name our team the Raptors in the first place are a big reason why on all of this. So yeah, share the love for the great creations of the graphics department and creative directors behind the scenes at MLSE that set us up with such a fantastic court, fantastic jerseys, and a fantastic retirement banner for Vince Carter. Seriously, this is all top-notch stuff. A++. And people are noticing. People are saying it. In some ways, the Raptors don't get a lot of attention in certain ways. We get attention for this stuff. And that's cool. Common NBA fan who's a fan of whatever team sees our stuff and they're like, man, that stuff is cool. Maybe a little bit of them in some ways was like, man, I want to be part of Raptors Nation. They got the cool shit. I want to be like them, man. Seriously. I mean, the OVO stuff for a couple years, that brought a lot of quality and attention. The black and the gold stuff we did, Welcome Toronto. But this is a whole other level, what we're doing this year. That we've always had very good taste for the most part, camouflage jerseys withstanding, for what we've been doing with our jerseys and the things we've been doing with our designs. Some people hate the chevrons, but I think they're very iconic and important part of our franchise history. They're a natural evolution from the purple front black back, because they had chevrons on the side of them. They did. There's one right here. I got one right here. I mean, the chevrons on this jersey, the Vince era jersey, it just that they came around to the front of the jersey. People get mad about that, but there's chevrons on this jersey too. I love the chevron jerseys. I know a lot of people hate them, but they'll always symbolize to me the era where we came up, like the jersey signifies. We came up the whole time we were wearing those chevron jerseys. and that's special too. That championship jersey, the white and red one, that one, man, is so special. That red and white chevron one, woo! That's my favorite jersey of all time. That's the best one. All right, let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Y'all have any comments on the subject of today? Sharing the love for our great designs and our fantastic court and our jerseys. That's right. Trevor's saying the older you get, the more you realize how precious life is to have. You have no desire for drama, conflict, or stress. You just want good friends, a cozy home, food on the table, and people who make you happy. Yeah, it's the simple things. Maybe when you're younger, you want to be out there and be popular and get out there and be all around a whole bunch of people, but you expose yourself to a lot of toxic people. You put yourself in situations where you have to have learning experiences. And at a certain point, you just kind of like, I'm getting too old for this shit, Danny Glover. And you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on the people that matter, that are healthy for me, that are good for me, and I'm gonna stop the toxic behaviors, and I'm gonna get to comfortable places with comfortable things, and just count my blessings that I have a roof over my head, food on the table, and people that love me. That's the life right there, Trevor. You kind of dance around right there, the meaning of life right there. Right there. When we're young, we're foolish, and we want to be explorative and trying to find our place in the world. And well, we get into situations, good or bad, sometimes weird, sometimes not healthy. And that's what we got to learn as we grow older. That's right. Trevor J saying lots of people are saying that Raptor City Court is one of the best NBA courts they've seen in a lifetime. I know. It's fun. It does a lot all at once. It symbolizes our team in a retro way. It honors a great Raptor legend. It is also a nice looking court that people have fun playing on. Those guys wearing those jerseys really enjoyed wearing those jerseys the other night. RJ didn't want to take it off. He went and sat it through his whole press conference wearing it still. And they made a men notice of that. Say, RJ, you still wearing your jersey? He's like, I know, man. It's the best. It's so cool, man. This is so cool. I mean, seriously, what do you think? Kelly Olynyk probably wished his back wasn't all messed up so he could wear that jersey. Because seriously, him and RJ grew up in this town, and they know about Vince Carter and his importance. And to be kind of wearing that kind of jersey and honoring that kind of stuff is top notch for a kid that had NBA dreams from Mississauga. And that's what's cool about it right there, man. Yeah, that court is nice. There's some ways maybe you could improve it, but maybe not. I don't know. I like just keeping it simple with the purple around the key and then the big, huge logo in the middle. Yeah, it's a nice court. And I like what they're saying about it. In some ways, maybe it is going to get into the rotation. Maybe this is a keeper, MLSE, that you might want to have this jersey court combo at least once a year. Maybe you do something where you honor Vince once a year. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe. Why am I saying that, Lex? Don't say shit like that, Lex. This year's good. We can honor other Raptors in other years. Come on now. We got to have Kyle's year and DeMar's year down the road. Come on now. You don't want to honor Vince every year. Come on, Lex. What are you saying, man? Trevor's saying NBA standings: Bucks at 6 and Indiana at 11. The Nets 12, Raptors 13th, Sixers 14th, and the Wizards 15th. Okay, you're saying in the place in the Eastern Conference. That's what you mean. That's their places in the. How did the Bucks get to 6 already? Are they seriously at 6 already? That doesn't make no sense. Have they been winning like crazy all of a sudden? And that's what happened? I don't know. I haven't been paying close enough attention to the standings. Let me go look at it since Trevor brought this up. Let me go look at it. Yeah, they jumped up all the way to 6 because they've won, 6 out of their last 10, and they got 7 and 9 now. So, wow, they rose up from the ashes. Philadelphia ain't done that. No, they ain't done it yet, although Philly did win again finally. Yeah, okay, interesting. Thanks for the standings check, Trevor. The Bucks been winning. In fact, Gary Trent's been hitting those shots. In fact, let's do the Instagram stories real quick. I've got to react to the 905 game tonight from last night also, and we'll do the classic card. This is going to be a light stream today in some ways. This is just a share love club. All right, Kelly's got RJ and Grady's great fast break on his Instagram. This is his first clip where that beautiful lob pass to RJ just over his shoulder from Grady. Just a beautiful play. And Kelly's reaction on the bench is funny. He's like being held back by his shirt to not go on the court with this snapback hat. Kelly's such a dude, man. He's such a dude. He really is a dude. You know what I'm talking about. There he is after the game with Team Canada's Nickel Alexander Walker taking a picture after the Minnesota game the other night. Cool to see Team Canada guys chummy. Cool to see that. There he is at the 905 game last night with the family and the Stripes, the Raptor mascot for 905 Stripes, and Kelly Olynyk and a father and some kids there. Nice picture. Nice picture from last night. Last night was fun, even though they lost. It was weird. Here's Gary Trent Jr., and this may be part of the reason why the Bucks are higher up in the Eastern Conference standings all of a sudden. Gary's finally hitting his shot. He hit some buzzer beaters. Milwaukee fans are starting to see the possibilities with Trent Jr. and what he's able to do with his shot and how clutch he can be. Yeah, we've seen that too in Toronto. It's inconsistent, but you will see at times he can be a hero for y'all. Milwaukee. Yeah, DJ Carton with his fiance or girlfriend, I'm not sure, in a picture and selfie in the bathroom. Of course, DJ was not playing last night once again for 905. Very sorely missed. Very, very sorely missed in the 905. I wish DJ didn't have so many injuries. Like, he was injured all last year, too, and now he's injured again. DJ Carton, man, get healthy, bro. Talk to Dr. Alex for like 2 hours. Maybe you get healthy then. Your boy, Scotty, sitting courtside at the Paramount Fine Food Center. There he is, right at the courtside. That's that courtside view of what he was seeing there. And there he is. He's showing the play from the game the other day when they won. Davion Mitchell coming around the pick and stopping and passing it to, it's very slow motion. I can't see it. It's not going to get the whole clip. But yeah, Scotty showing highlights from some of the games this week. There's one of his shots that they made in the game. Slim Duck showing more highlights from the Minnesota game on his Instagram and him entering the game at the Scotiabank Arena. And there's more highlights just from the game. Davion Mitchell posting that he's blessed. And there's more highlights from the Minnesota game. Lots of that. There's Davion at the game last night at courtside, trying to look for somebody, trying to get a picture taken. You know, these guys were signing jerseys. Oh, he's throwing T-shirts to the crowd is what he was doing, Davion. There is a picture with him and a fan courtside at the 905 game last night. And there's the big bad logo we're sharing the love for today in the middle of the court. Emmanuel Quickly showing the guys at the courtside. For the game yesterday, there's Bruce in his cowboy hat. Chris is kind of slunk back. Scotty's got a nice smile wearing his Raptors gear. There's Emmanuel next to Scotty. Bruno Fernando in the middle. Davion Mitchell, RJ Barrett, and Yak's on his phone. Maybe he's doing Pirtle, playing the game Pirtle. Figure out who the NBA player is, Yaka. But yeah, squad, Emmanuel. You get the whole crew right there in front. Of course, Grady and Oshai were there too. And so was they were all there. They honestly were all there. It was pretty cool. Teresa Resch is posting that the fact that only 6% of Fortune 500 companies invest in women's sports is deplorable. If you're part of the other 94%, get moving because you're going to get left behind. Get out there and start doing something. You'll regret it if you don't. Boom goes the dynamite. There you go. That's Andrea Brimmer on women's sports, a movement, not a moment. There you go. Love to see that. WNBA Toronto is coming fast, y'all. Be ready for the name in January. That's right. RJ Barrett, courtside, filming Bruno and Scotty, laughing and making little signs and, having a good time sitting at the court. They were very loud at the game last night. You could hear Scotty coaching the 905 over the broadcast. It was hilarious. You could hear him yelling, him in particular. They had a ticket giveaway for the game last night, the official on 905er, the home opener. It's too bad they didn't take care of business. And I'll tell you right now, Drew Jones was pretty pissed about their performance in the after-game interview. He was not happy. And I kind of like how he's talking because he sounds like he's going to hold people accountable. We'll talk a lot about this game in a second. But, yeah, Drew Jones was not happy at this game in his post-game interview. There's Scotty signing jerseys for kids on the entryway at 905 last night. Your boy in the house. That's right. Scotty Barnes is signing the jerseys. It's crazy. Yeah, and there's Davion throwing the shirts out to the crowd. Norman Powell serving some food for the community or something. I don't know what's going on here. He's giving this lady some sort of hors d'oeuvres or something. I don't know what's going on there with Norman. Understand the grind, serving hors d'oeuvres to old ladies. That's what it was there, right there. Yeah. Matt Devlin showing the great pass by Grady once again, the highlight reel of the alley-oop with RJ yelling. So nice. Give it the open gym treatment. I want to see how they do it. I want to see the open gym treatment on that. That's right. And Matt Devlin and Kayla Gray and Jack, they're singing a song. I don't know. They're crazy. They're out of control. Lloyd is in the park near a park bench taking nice pictures of foliage. Is basically what's going on with What About Lloyd. Raptors official showing the guys and Jacoby Walter on the 905 on assignment. Bruno Fernando showing a picture of him in street clothes on the sideline of the last game against Minnesota. Get healthy. Fix your ankle. We need you in the lineup. We need all of them in the lineup. And he's saying this, guys. Listen. Bruno Fernando has posted a picture of the CN Tower, and he's saying that he wants to find the Angolan community of Toronto. So shout out to people from Angola that live in Toronto. Bruno Fernando wants to connect with you and get people from his country that he's friends with. He wants to find the culture, the cuisine, and the people from his home country. So if you are Angolan, reach out to Bruno. Seriously, he wants you to reach out to him and say, "Hey, I'm from Angola, and I make a nice this dish from that country, and you want to come over, then I'll make it for you." Do that for Bruno because Bruno wants to have his feel from his home country in Toronto. We know that our community has all the communities of the world here in Toronto. Darko's a huge pillar of the Serbian community now already in the city of Toronto. And that there's got to be some Angolan people out there that can hook up Bruno Fernando to have some times with him and so he can feel it. Serge Ibaka loved this part of the kind of thing. Siakam, he could get food from Cameroon here in Toronto. And that's fantastic. Jamal Shed showing him palling around with Bruno Fernando on the sideline there. DeMar DeRozan's got a picture of Kendrick Lamar on his stories. I will say nothing else. He dropped the new album. That's why. Grady, a highlight from the game the other night against Minnesota, and then Shamshay in the Raptors jersey at the Raptors game. He got the start last night against Long Island Nets, and we'll talk about that in just a second. There's your Instagram stories real quick. Yeah, really, really, a lot of highlights from the game last night and the game before against the Timberwolves. There you go. Stargate is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Was at the 905 game last night. Saw all the Raptors guys there. Amazing how when one is there live, you see things you wouldn't see. And when watching in TV, we'll point out a few. All right. I love this. We had a couple of Raptor Freaks in the house last night. I know that Blackhawk was in the house also. And so it's cool to hear that Stargate was there also. So, yeah, any kind of observations or things you want to write about Stargate this morning, highly received. And thank you, because we want all the intel and all the observations we can get. And if you were actually at the game last night, let us know what you saw for sure, man. Race Mode's here. Happy weekend, Lex and the crew. Good morning to you, Edmund. Thank you for coming in and saying good morning. Happy weekend to you and the family. And I hope you're just having great, blessed things happening to you all the time. Race Mode travels. All right, let's see. Stargate is saying the coach is not running Darko's system. It's evident. Number 2, I only saw 4 guys really trying and putting in any real effort last night. Walter, Amaroy, Chandler, and Ulrich, who gets a pass because he's 18. Interesting. Too many turnovers and lack of ball protection and missing of open shots, both outside and close to the basket. Second half was a meltdown. Yeah, they did a good job in the first half. We felt really good. We had good vibes in the building, and they had the lead at half, but the third quarter was a disaster. Some of the names you got on there, Stargate, are my players of the game. So let me do that real quick. My first star of the game is Jacoby Walter. Jacoby Walter played his first 905 game last night. He had 21 minutes, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. He hit his first 2 threes right away, and that was really nice foreboding thing. Like right away, Jacoby was bombing, but then he went 1 for 6 late for the rest of the game, which is too bad. 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Too bad. We need to tighten that up. The free throws were really bad last night. Not getting to the free throw line and not making them at the same time. 6 rebounds for Jacoby, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 20 points in 21 minutes, a +1. So he was on the winning side of things. Yeah, Jacoby was great. Jacoby was our leading scorer for the 905 last night. He came out and he was aggressive to try and score. And he was aggressive on the defensive end also, making hands, get in there, get some steals, disrupting stuff, trying to get in rebounds. He was just active. and he was getting hit and put on the floor too, and he was getting back up, and he looked strong. So yeah, kudos to you, Jacoby Walter. You're my first star of the game for last night, and it was cool. I think we had Jacoby's sister in the chat with us on YouTube last night, watching the game with somebody from his family. Walter was in there watching with us in the stream. But yeah, he was great. Jacoby, very, very good in his first 905 game. And I want to see more expanded from this. My second star of the game is the newly acquired Eugene Omoruyi. Yeah, this kid's fun, man. He had the after game interview, and he was saying that, it's really special to be back in Canada playing for Mississauga, and that his family and friends were at the game last night. And it's weird because he's used to coming here and playing and them coming to see him, but then he has to leave and get on a plane or a bus to go to the next place. And well, he didn't have to do that. He got to just go home after the game last night, and he said it was pretty cool. So Eugene Omoruyi, thank you for coming to our team. You are some sort on the spectrum of Draymond Green as a strong forward that is very active and gets after it. 9 of 15 for Eugene last night in his 905 debut. 0 of 4 from 3. That's all right. He missed both his free throws, which I kind of was annoyed by. But 6 offensive rebounds for Eugene, 10 altogether. 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers, minus 20 with 18 points in 26 minutes. Yeah, Eugene was just active. He's the kind of player that you need to put on G League teams like this because he's going to do all the dirty work. He's going to do a bunch of stuff that nobody else is going to do. As Stargate was saying, he didn't see a lot of hustle from a lot of them, but he did see it from Eugene. And that's what I'm saying. He's a guy that takes care of the stuff that nobody wants to do. And he's physical, he's strong, he gets after rebounds. He's a defensive disruption for the other team also. There's a lot to like about Omoruyi. I'm really happy he's on the 905. I think that this is probably the best pickup that Luke Wynn's made for this year so far this year. The other guys, I'm not really that impressed with as far as Chandler and Charlie Brown. So, yeah, Omoruyi, 2 thumbs up, man. Good job getting out there and playing for 905. And it's kind of cool to have you at home. My third star, the last star, and this may be a little controversial because some people were kind of bashing this guy in the chat last night, but honestly, he did better than they're saying, is Jamal Shed. Jamal Shed got a double-double last night, guys. He got a sneaky 13 assists in this game. So he was actually operating pretty good to get the ball to different people, and he was actually playing like a point guard, which is kind of rare to find in the G League. Just put it that way. Now, Shed did have his problems with some of the shooting stuff, and this was one of the things that one of the commenters in the YouTube chat kept saying is Shed's showing our weakness because they don't respect him to make shots. That's kind of bullshit, actually, because if he's open for 3, he can make a 3. And well, he was 5 for 9 last night. And the thing was, Shed was going inside and putting in shots closer and being very smart and measured. So some of the stuff that the commenter in the chat was seeing, I wasn't seeing. Sure, he could shoot better. He could be more of a threat, and people wouldn't lay off him in some cases. And that does happen. That's true. But he's also picking apart defenses and finding people with passes. And he is calling his own number, and he's somewhat effective at making the shots. 5 for 9 for Jamal Shed. 1 of 3 from 3. 2 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers. So 13 to 3 turnover ratio, assist to turnover ratio. That's not bad. 11 points in 27 minutes, a minus 9. 11 and 13 assists. Yeah, that's not bad. In some ways, Shed, I wish, had more control of the reins in the second half to try and help captain them to a victory. But everything just fell apart in the third quarter. And in some ways, it's A.J. Lawson. That was what happened, honestly, in this game last night. So, yeah, there's my 3 stars of the game. Jacoby Walter, Eugene Omoruyi, and Jamal Shed. Yeah, and we'll talk about the other guys in a sec. But, yeah, so Stargate, you really saw a difference in some of the 905ers' energy output, and some of them just weren't out there working. I know that what Coach Andrew Jones said after the game, he's extremely frustrated. And he's basically saying some of the stuff that you just said, is saying that these guys are not doing what I want them to do. And he looked pissed, honestly. He looked pissed. He looked embarrassed. And he looked like he wanted this one back so that he could maybe get a win on this great home opener crowd, having the Raptors there. I mean, when they asked Andrew Jones How did it feel to have the whole entire Raptors team there watching you? He looked a little hurt in some ways because he wanted to impress them and he wanted to do the win in front of them. And in some ways, he was kind of like, this is such great support. These guys are amazing. They come and support us here. I appreciate it. It's so great. But in some ways, I could see the pain in his eyes that he didn't come through with getting the W in front of the main squad Raptors. And also, the home crowd, the very, very good home crowd. We had more people at the Paramount 5 Food Center last night than pretty much all the road games we played so far this season, cumulative, added up, whether it's College Park, Capital City, or even the first game in Delaware. The Delaware game, there's more people at. The Bluecoats get a good crowd, but I still feel like the Raptors 905 had a bigger crowd than all of those other crowds all put together for all 5 games. I'm serious. It was like that. Seriously, it was like that. All right, let's keep going. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. I totally agree, Stargate. It was very noticeable. Yeah, I want them to play Darko's system. They're supposed to be playing Darko's system. And when you have guys that have been playing Darko's system on the NBA level coming down there, you expect to see more of it. And there was times. The beginning of the game when the starters are primarily our rookies and guys who have been playing with the big club, you do see more play sets than them playing more like they would if they were the regular Raptors. It's just when you go to the bench and you start bringing in knuckleheads like Kennedy Chandler, then it all dissolves. It all dissolves. Too much calling your own number, not passing it to each other. Too much selfishness. Too much hero ball. Too much bad shot selection. And not taking care of the ball and turning the ball over. Too much of that. Too much of that. That's right. Carlos saying, good morning, Lex and fellow freaks. For Lowry's year, the logo has to be the Raptor with the big butt. Okay, so we'll make the Raptor once again be, but it'll be a big-butted Raptor. That kind of is funny, and in some ways, I don't know if Kyle would probably think it's hilarious, and he'd probably be like, okay, all right. Is it a troll in some ways though? Kind of, Carlo, but I think that's hilarious. I mean, in some ways, I'm gonna give you a dunk for that. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So you want it to be a big butt Raptor when Kyle Lowry is his big year for us to honor him. All right, Carlo, you're going to get a 5-pointer, 89 dunks for Carlo and Santino on that one. That's hilarious. Wayne saying, we're a classy cohort of Raptor freaks, but that doesn't mean we are nice. We understand the grind is essential for character to be built. Yes. Yes. We're an interesting group, a little subset of the Raptors nation, and I'm proud of us, man. You know what happens is I've realized this with this channel. You guys come here and we start hanging out regularly, and we're the real diehards. That's why when we watch a 905 game on YouTube, the RFF is in there like dominating the chat. There's all kinds of other people there too watching it with us. I mean, family members of the players. Like I said, one of the Walter family members was there watching Jacoby. We had some people coming in trying to toot the horn of the Long Island Nets, fans of the other side, but they fall very silent. And then we even had some fans coming in from China celebrating the Chinese player that was on the other side for the Nets last night and talking about him a lot. But the overwhelming voice in there is the ones of Kareem and Monique and myself and G and everybody who's there, Neil, everybody from RFF comes in there and we talk and we talk and we talk. And Blake Murphy comes in and chimes in for a sec. Fuckface shows up and says something. And then Cowboy's in there too with us, which is hilarious. I love you, Cowboy, even though you're not allowed in the channel anymore. He comes in there. He starts posting Pensair face in there. He starts posting our little emoticon, and then Kareem starts berating Pensair in the chat. Are you going to turn on Shed next? He starts saying stuff like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Kareem's fighting the good fight. I didn't want to do that because in some ways I don't want the devolve. I want to watch the game, and I don't want to get into like fighting with Robert on the stream. But I see Kareem taking pot shots at him. And I'm like, you go, Kareem Thomas. And then Cowboy jumps in. He starts saying 2-finger salute to Pensair right in the chat. It's hilarious, man. Hilarious. And the RFF is real ones. And we're not, we are very protective of our team. We love our team. And if you're going to disrespect our teams, we're the guardians of this. In some ways, I used to say that the RFF is like the Knights Templar for the Holy Grail, that they are protecting the Holy Grail from people who should not have it. And in some ways, we're the Raptor freaks, and we are protecting the honor of the Raptors franchise. And that's the way I look at it. That's right. And that's part of what's built into what Wayne's saying is that, you're going to disrespect our team. No, we have respect for our team. And you know what? We're not going to allow this anymore. This was one of the things that pissed me off the most in the first 15 years of the Raptors history was not enough people were like us. I was there and I was like, man, this is my team. There's so many people disrespecting us. Purple dinosaurs, Barneys, y'all calling us all this stupid ass shit. I nobody would back me up. I had nobody backing me up. I was a man on an island fighting for the respect and the honor of the Toronto Raptors franchise in 1998. It's just so nice that it's got to this point with YouTube where we can all find each other, birds of a feather, that flock together and say and have the same feelings about our team. Because it was lonely before being such a diehard Raptors fan in a period of time where even our fans were dumping on our team and disrespecting our team themselves. And there's a reason why they did that. The NBA taught them to, conditioned them to. The Canadian media conditioned us to think of the Raptors as a joke back then. They didn't want us to ever take them seriously and love them and dedicate, allegiance to them like we have. So in some ways, I'm very proud of that and what we're like as a fan group, as the RFF. That this is what we stand for, and we exist at this point. Because for the longest time, Raptors didn't have a fan group that was very much like what we are. There was kind of like ambivalent, kind of like, oh, I like the Raptors. I enjoy watching them. But I mean, they don't win. And, there's just dumb stuff like that. I'm like, what? They don't win. They win. Come on now. Come on now. Trevor's saying NBA. Okay, NBA highlights. Let's find out. Make Grady pass to RJ for that dunk at number 1. This is what I was thinking. Are they going to put RJ on the dark side of the moon? Or are they going to show that crazy ass, awesome alley-oop transition play between Grady and RJ? And they put it up on number 1, Trevor. All right, NBA, you got it right this time. All right, don't hide the excellence in that amazing play with Grady Dick and RJ Barrett from the Minnesota game on Thursday. Thank you. Number 1 on the NBA highlights from yesterday. Thank you, Trevor, for letting me know about that. I was wondering if that was going to happen, and well, I'm glad to hear that it did. That's right. Stargate saying Drew Jones is to blame, though, Lex. I really don't see I really don't see him running a system, much less Darko's system. I think that coaching G League may be harder in some ways than you think. These guys are so wanting certain things. That's why I think that in some ways it's Luke Wynn that has to get this right. It's not even the coaches. In some ways, the last few years, Luke Wynn has not put nucleuses together that are willing to work together. And I think Charlie Brown is the biggest example of the problem here. Kennedy Chandler to a lesser extent. You can't go just for the talent. I don't care if Charlie Brown's been in the G League for 6 years. That's a red flag as far as I'm concerned. Kennedy Chandler has a stunted growth out on him, Luke Wynn. Have you watched the stunted growth on Kennedy Chandler? Do you understand what his problem has been in his career so far and why he's been gotten to this point? I just don't get it. I mean, we could do better. I'd almost rather have lesser talented players that are like Eugene Omoruyi as far as role players and guys that are team players than these really like crazy scorer guys that are just going to call their numbers over and over again like Charlie Brown and Kennedy Chandler. I would say this. Do not play these two guys if we get our regular guys like we did last night there. Don't put Charlie Brown in the starting lineup. Put Jonathan Mobo in the starting lineup. I didn't understand that. Mobo didn't play last night. And a lot of people were confused. Why is Jonathan Mobo not playing? And he's dressed. He was dressed to play, and he was sitting on the 905 bench, not with the other guys across the way, the regular Raptors over on the other side, because he is 905, and he is going to play for 905. It's just that maybe he logged long minutes against the Timberwolves the night before and battling the bigs of Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid and those guys. And, he's a little sore. And in some ways, maybe they're like, we're going to give Jonathan a rest day, and he's going to be the one of the 5 rookies that does not play tonight. They started the other guys. They started Shed. They started Walter. They started Ulrich. They started Jamison Battle. And then they started Charlie Brown. And I'm like, why? Why are you starting Charlie Brown? Don't even play this fool today. Seriously, don't even play this dude. These guys are the guys who are taken away from the team concept. And then to a lesser degree, Evan Gilliard, too. Those three guys are the guys that are doing the JFL this year. And I just don't have no time for this Jay Sean Page bullshit. Luke Wynn, stop sending people that are ball hogs that are not team oriented to the 905 roster. That is where the problem is right there. Because these guys aren't listening to coaches, first of all. Eric Curry, Andrew Jones have no control over their players. And their players are just going off script and doing whatever. And you can tell the frustration from Andrew Jones in the post-game conference. These guys are not listening to me. And that's a problem. They need to do better. They're going to watch the tape and they're going to learn. And in some ways, I wish Andrew would be stern and bench some of these guys that are going off script and not following the plan correctly. Seriously, because it's a problem. I want Andrew Jones to succeed. I like the guy, and I want to see better coaching on the 905 level. In some ways, I wish that Masai and Bobby maybe just made one guy the coach of 905 for like 5 years and really let them get really good at it. This switching the coach every 2 years, the coach has a learning curve. In some ways, it's not helping develop our players. And what is the main priority for the usage of our affiliate team? Is it to develop coaches? Why? Because the coaches ain't going to stay here. We've seen that. Where have all of our 905 coaches gone that have been successful since? Patrick Mutombo, Jerry Stackhouse. Well, Jama's on the team. That's good. He's still on the team. But most of them go on to Grieger Pastures and other places. And are we just doing a service for the basketball world that we're going to develop coaches for the rest of the people? No. Do you think other teams are doing this like us? No, they're not. Not all of them. Some of them are. But most of them, some of the G League teams have had the same coach for 10 years. And I think that that's a strength for them, seriously, that they have continuity, that the coach does not have to have a learning curve themselves. And that's why I don't like the way we do this. Do we have to be a coach development team with the 905, Darko, and Masai? Do we really need to do this? Could we just designate a veteran coach that knows what they're doing to really teach these kids development stuff at that level and keep the ship right as far as, oh, yeah, this is 905. I understand how this is transitory. All these guys are hungry. They all want to make the big league. They're going to be selfish. They all have egos. Well, this is how I coach it. I'm coach A, B, C, and I'm going to continue to coach this team for 5 years. And over this time, I'm going to be better and savvier at it, and the 905 will perform better. I think that's the biggest problem right here. Eric Curry never got the respect of his players correctly. And in some ways, they floundered the whole 2 years he was in charge. Now, maybe Andrew Jones will figure it out, and he'll get these guys to listen to him and play Darko's system more correctly. Maybe he won't. Maybe for 2 years, it'll be just like this again, and then we'll get another coach, and they'll have to start it all over again. I don't like this. They develop referees. They develop scorekeepers. They develop announcers, sideline reporters like Lindsey Dunn. They can develop all that shit in the world, but not the teacher that's supposed to be teaching the development Raptors organization. Why do you do this? Seriously. Now, I don't mind Andrew Jones being the coach of 905. Don't get me twisted. I want him to be the coach of 905 for like 5 years. How about that? So we can see him get better and better. And then we don't have to restart everything every single time we bring a new coach in there. Some of them have done better. Jerry Stackhouse, very, very good G League coach. He took off and did a really good job in his 2 years. Patrick Mutombo, Njama, both very, very good. But in some ways, it was because of their coaching experience they'd already had. So in some ways, I'm annoyed because of the phenomena of this. Do we really need to be a development system for coaches, 905? Do we really need to do this? In some ways, would Andrew Jones be better off getting just the coaching experience under Darko on the main squad than going through what he's going through right now? I still feel like, man, why don't we have an old head, somebody who's around for a long time, that has a lot of respect, doing this job instead? Because in some ways, Andrew Jones is up against it because he's unknown. He has no real head coaching credentials before this. And in some ways, it's like, why do we do it this way? The record is 1-5, and we're punting the first part of the G League season again, the tip-off tournament. And I hate this. I was expecting us to compete and go to Orlando to be in this cup tournament in this first part of the G League season. But no, it's the same bullshit. Take Eric Curry's name out and put Andrew Jones's name in. That's what I'm saying. We are a development team for coaches in this league. We shouldn't have to be. I don't think other teams are doing this. I'd rather have a good development coach down there that's teaching our players like Shamshay and Battle and Shed how to get better. Because in some ways, the coach is too busy trying to learn how to coach himself. And that's no good. That's not the right situation right there. That's right. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Rapid Free Crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. Stargate saying there is an Angolan community up in Caledon. Bruno should venture up there. There you go. That's good information. Yeah, we want to help this guy find his roots in Toronto. And we know that they're there. We know that they're there in Caledon. Okay. G saying in his comments, Davion answered someone and said, I love Toronto. Bruno seems very popular amongst the group. They seem like a happy bunch. Yeah, they had a little, they had Davion mic'd up for a game recently, and they caught him talking to one of the refs before the game, saying, I love being in Toronto so far. It's been a lot of fun. It's great. I mean, what's not to like? The city's cool. The city's awesome. You got teammates that respect and value you. You're getting playing time. You're in the rotation, and you got a more sure role on this team than you did on Sacramento. What's not to like for Davion? And, he's also getting to play with one of his best friends on the team, Jacoby Walter. So, yeah, what's not to like for Davion Mitchell? Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, Bruno is a very popular player. Bruno's like kind of like that eye of the tiger. He's got to fight for his life in the NBA. And seeing him make our team and make his contract guaranteed was a win for the whole guys, all the guys. They really like that. They were very, very happy about that. And, yeah, he does seem like a popular guy on this team. That's right. Neil's here. Neil was also at the game last night. He said, the sound is too loud in the arena. My earbuds wouldn't work. Yeah, I mean, Neil was talking to us in the beginning, but then, you can't be on the phone and watching the game live in person. So he went and he focused more on the game. But, yeah, I hope you guys had a good time, Stargate and Blackhawk being at the game last night. And it's too bad they didn't get the victory. It's too bad. It is what it is. Cool Cat saying, Lex, thank you for your commitment to the show and our community. Man, I've been struggling on weekends to wake up on time. It's all good, Cool Cat. And, as always, it's great to have people live here that we get to interact through the messages. But there's a whole audience for this channel that does not ever watch me live, and they watch me later. And once again, I'll remind anybody who's not watching me live to put me on 1.5 speed or 1.75 speed. And a 2-hour stream gets cut down real quick. And you can still understand me because I'm pretty clear, eating clean, even with the faster speed. You can still understand what Lex is saying. I appreciate you and love you, Cool Cat. You are one of my favorite rapper freaks, and you are awesome. And you know what? Hit that snooze button if you have to. Go ahead and sleep in. It's a weekend. You earned it. You earned it. Stargate saying the Nets guys were just too quick and are good shooters. Yeah, let's talk about them. In some ways, we need to give shine to the Long Island Nets, and that's why they won. AJ Lawson is from Mississauga, guys. And this was a big part of what happened last night. Lawson came in, and for 32 minutes, he got 37 points. So he was over his minutes with points, 37 points and 32 minutes. This guy was scorching. In some ways, he did the Dylan Brooks, y'all. That's the real story. In the third quarter, AJ Lawson came out and said, this is my house. This is where I'm from. Canadian AJ Lawson came out and said, I'm claiming this place. 11 of 24 from the field, 5 of 13 from three, 6 of 7 from free throw land. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers, a plus 22. AJ Lawson, yeah, he was the player of the game. He was the best game out there. He just took over in the third quarter, busted the game wide open, and put his stamp on the game. It's AJ's game, and he's coming home. He had family there, just like Eugene, and in some ways, that's part of it. That's part of it right there. It's like, I'm back. I'm in front of my family. I feel good. I'm going to go bomb the 905 and kick their ass. And that's what he did. Also, Killian Hayes, very much on fire last night. 7 of 12 overall, 3 of 5, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 3 turnovers, 17 points in 38 minutes, a plus 19. A lot of people in the chat were like, Killian Hayes is in this game. Oh my gosh, how the mighty have fallen, saying all kinds of shit like that. And then somebody early in the game said, we cannot let this team lose to Killian Hayes. Well, we did. We did. And the three-point shooting of the Long Island Nets was on point. 13 of 36, 36%. Yeah, they just had certain guys that were just bombing out. Kendall Brown had a good game too, 9 of 12, 21 points. Tyson Etienne, 12 points, 4 of 10 shooting. They had 7 guys in double digits last night. And that's a big part of why they won. The Long Island Nets had good balance. They were shooting threes deadly in the second half. and they were very active. And in some ways, it seemed like they were coached very, very well also in this situation. So yeah, kudos to the Long Island Nets and beating us last night in our home opener. Yeah, they did a good job. And Killian Hayes is like still got it in some ways, and he's a borderline NBA player, and he's probably still trying to get there. AJ Lawson came home. That's the story right there. That's right. Too quick and good shooters. That is right. G saying there's a Cameroonian and Angolan restaurant at Bloor West and an Afrobeat kitchen and bar in Queen West. Yeah, and there's probably some grocery stores where he can get some of the delicacies and foods that he likes from Angola. That's the thing that Siakam said was one of the coolest things about being in Toronto is being able to get stuff from back home here. And I'm sure that Bruno just wants those hookups. So he's calling out for him. So anybody can help him out. That's what you do. Sometimes we got Raptors calling out, where can I get a haircut? Where can I get a tattoo? Where can I get this? And they source to the fans. The fans come around and say, oh, Kensington Market, go down there and get a tattoo from a tattoo parlor there, or something like that. Pearl Harbor, something like that. They'll hook them up with the information. It's a good way to find out. Seriously. Infamous saying, I was very disappointed in Shed. The most he didn't seem like he cared. His body language was very evident. Walter's effort, especially on defense, was great. Yeah, I don't know if that's totally true. I think that in some ways he was frustrated because it really is like he's in there controlling things. It's night and day. We look like a team. We're actually running play sets. The ball's getting moved around, and we're deriving good high percentage shots. Meanwhile, if he's out of the game, they put Chandler in there or Gilliard, and they're running the show. It just turns into a G League shit show of selfishness again. And that's the problem. In some ways, you can't have Jamal Shed out there all the time. These guys are going to be out there like that. In some ways, he probably was mad that we fumbled the lead in the third quarter, and maybe he became disinterested by the end of the game because he was upset by that. In the first half, he was very active and heartily in the game, but maybe this is true. Maybe he was just like frustrated, like Andrew Jones, because of the knuckleheads that he's playing alongside. They're drawing the game and concept away from team play. The first play of the game in that game last night was a beautiful setup for Ulrich Shamshay in the paint by Jamal Shed. He tossed the ball into him in the post, and Ulrich did a little turn and dunked the ball into the basket. Easy 2 points and easy assist for Jamal Shed. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun game as soon as I saw that. Getting Shamshay to score the first basket right away, and that was Shed directly getting him that basket. In some ways, I really feel like we need to cut Kennedy Chandler and Charlie Brown. Seriously, Luke Wynn, why do you bring these knuckleheads to our team in the first place? Seriously, why do you bring them here? They just cause bad vibes. They want to try and make the league. Let them go and try and make the league on another team. Seriously, I don't even care if we get less talented players. I don't care. I want players that are going to fit the mold of what we're trying to do. I'd rather go down the street and get some guys from the blacktop in a pickup game and put them out there with the guys we're trying to develop and tell them, look, you're not the star. We're not trying to develop you. You're just here. You're on our team, Charlie Brown, Kennedy Chandler, and we're trying to develop Jacoby Walter. We're trying to develop Ulrich Shamshay. And if you're taking away from us doing that, that's the thing. We got to prioritize developing our young Raptor rookies that are a part of our future for the main squad. And stop jerking around with them. Get a coach that can help them develop. And it could be Andrew Jones. It's just that he's finding his early footing. Get a team that's built around these guys that will cater to them and defer to them instead of calling their numbers and ignoring them. That's what we got to do. This shit happened last year with Grady, with the G League and the selfishness. And when Grady first went down to G League 905 last year, and it was a waste. And it didn't help his development. In some ways, it may have hurt his confidence. And I don't want to do this anymore. What are we building down in 905? What is this environment? Is this conducive to getting our guys going faster in their development and getting more strides and leaps and becoming better players? No, this ecosystem is not for this because of two of the main things I just said. The coach is learning on the job himself, and he can't teach the right way when he's doing that. And then you got knuckleheads added to the team by the GM, Luke Wynn, that should not be on our team like this. I don't care if we're less talented with lesser players than Charlie Brown. We just don't need these kind of knuckleheads around. I'm telling you, I just don't want to see them anymore. That's right. Stargate saying, I like Kennedy Chandler, though. He's put in an effort last night. Charlie Brown, not so. Regardless of Shed's numbers, he looked like he didn't want to be there. Same with Jameson. They may not be totally want to be there. In some ways, they've had a taste of the big time and they've been excelling at the big time. But this is the thing, Jamal Shed. I'm going to tell you right now, you want to be Fred VanVleet, you got to go through this part of it because this is the part of the path that Fred VanVleet went on. And in some ways, the task in front of you, Jamal, is to do and get the success that Fred got at that level. Fred got a G League title. So can you go do that? That should be your goal right now. Sure, you've had a taste of the big time. Maybe you feel like you don't necessarily belong on 905 time. But I'll tell you, when our team gets healthy and the minutes dry up on the main squad, you're going to be very happy to be running your own show down on the G League level. You need to do this, Jamal. And even if you're kind of acting like this, well, this will be points against you if you're not fully wholeheartedly into the idea of playing for the G League, because we need you down there. And if you're going to have any success like a Fred VanVleet, this is part of the path you have to go down. You have to go down this path. Jameson Battle, I don't know. I didn't get those reads, but you guys were in the arena. It could very well be that they're frustrated because they should have looked better in some ways. They should have won. I mean, we know that Shed comes from a very winning organization in Houston with Kelvin Sampson in college. And in some ways, this is not the winning that he would like to do. He's in some ways, he probably has in his head, well, I'm going to go down to 905 and I'm just going to dominate and win. Maybe he's disappointed in himself that he didn't help guide his team to the victory. Maybe it was out of his hands because some of it devolved and fell apart when he was off the court on the bench in the third. It's hard to read these guys. In some ways, you could say, yeah, he doesn't seem like he doesn't want to be there. Or is it just that he's pissed off that they're losing? I don't know. It seemed like Shed had good activity in the beginning of the game. His head all poofy, hair out. Let's go look at the rest of the box score for the Raptors with the guys I didn't mention that were stars. Shamshay had a pretty good game last night. He was +9. He had 10 rebounds. He had 4 blocks and 4 points, 2 of 5 shooting. He got that first basket, and then he only got one more basket for the rest of the game. In some ways, people are calling out for us to call plays for Shamshay. But I like that he opened up the game with a dunk, a very high percentage shot to open up the scoring. That's fantastic. The 10 rebounds were awesome. Shamshay's so raw. He's still not very good with his footwork. In some ways on defense, if he cleans up his footwork and he really understands how to mirror somebody and really guard them the right way and shadow them, he's going to be a wall. Nobody's going to be able to score against him. He was already blocking crazy shots last night. That was ridiculous. This guy, really tried to do this. And you learn real quick. Shamshay's in the paint. You got to watch out. So there was a big success with Shamshay. In some ways, he's honorable mention. If he had scored more, I may have made him one of the stars of the game for this one. But 10 rebounds, fantastic. He's getting on the boards. Just like the defensive footwork, though, Shamshay's got to work on getting 2 hands on the ball when he's trying to get the rebounds. And there was a couple times where him and somebody else were going for a rebound on the same team for the Raptors, and they'd knock it out of bounds. So some ways there needs to be communication between the players about who's getting the ball, and don't fight each other for it. That's so G League. Jeez, that's so G League. Jameson Battle, he was 6 of 13, 2 of 8 from 3, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 3 turnovers, 15 points in 27 minutes. He wasn't that bad. He hit a couple of very nice open shots. Maybe you guys are reading body language. I don't know. In some ways, you may think that they were just playing lazy. I don't know. I wasn't there. You guys probably know better. But I wouldn't worry about this too much. These guys are going to have to play at this level, so they better get used to it and get over themselves if that is what the problem is. I think the problem is probably more that they're getting blown out all of a sudden. They're pissed off about it. I don't know. Battle was fine. Battle was fine. He could score a lot more. He could for sure. Charlie Brown, 4 of 13, 2 of 8 from 3, 1 of 1 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals, 1 block, 12 points, a -16. One of the worst plus minuses on the team. And the 5 steals are great. He's had like 14 steals in the last 2 games, which is insane. There's a lot of talent there, but once again, he's a knucklehead. And in some ways, I wouldn't want him on the G League team with everybody because he may teach bad fundamentals or bad professional habits just being around him. And that's why I'm like, Luke Wynn, don't get guys like this. Seriously, don't get dudes like this. Charlie Brown, no. Wah, 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 wah. What is that, man? You're in detention, Charlie Brown. Go somewhere else. Kennedy Chandler, Stargate, liked Kennedy Chandler last night. He did shoot okay. 8 of 15, 1 of 4, 0 of 1 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, -8 with 17 points. 5 to 4 assist to turnover ratio. Not very good. He calls his number way too much. He's too you can figure out what he's going to do. Predictable. He's too predictable because he's just going to call his number and go to the basket. And sometimes he beats people one-on-one at the basket. He gets a nice layup because of quickness. And sometimes they just telegraph what he's going to do, and he's absolutely unsuccessful. I don't know. In some ways, I should be nicer to Chandler, but he just annoys me. He's that player build that I just don't like on basketball teams. He's so selfish. So selfish. Tyreek Key had a bad shooting game in some ways, but he didn't. 4 of 7, 2 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 fouls, -16, 10 points, and 23 points, 23 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, Tyreek could have made some more shots or shot more. He's not a bad player. In some ways, I didn't really notice too much about him last night. Disu, very interesting piece on our team. He takes a lot of threes, 2 of 4, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, a -21 with 5 points. He had 2 monster blocks early in the game, the first half, that were nasty. And Disu and Shamshay really do make people think twice about coming into the paint with the 905. We don't need a true center if we've got these two guys, 4-5s, walking around out there. They really do deter people from coming inside. Evan Gilliard, the second, 0 for 7, 0 for 5 from 3, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers, 0 points, wasting our time for 13 minutes, calling his own number and missing everything he took. Yeah, in some ways, it's like these little point guards, Chandler and Gilliard. I'm sorry, I don't want them on this team. And I already did Omer Roy. Yeah, Miles Burns didn't get in the game, which is very interesting. Neither did Tyler Perry or Kevin O'Banner. Kevin O'Banner getting an award at halftime for his foundation, the KO Foundation, doing good work in the community. And he won an award from Sharif Abdur-Rahim, the G League president, who was in Mississauga last night to give the award. They took a picture of him with Luke Wynn and Andrew Jones and Sharif Abdur-Rahim and Kevin O'Banner. So congratulations, Kevin O'Banner, and thank you for your work in the community. Yeah, there's the box score, looking over it a little bit more there. Yeah, let's see. Nins is here. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Nins. Happy Saturday. And Alan Tam, bam, son. Bam. And Canada is doing really well in Saskatchewan, winning their games in the FIBA qualifiers right now. Let's go, Canada. That's right, Quincy Guerriere. That's right. Mischief saying all the injuries and bad calls from referees made the Raptors a competitive team. Yeah, they just have that gumption to want to be better and get higher in the standings, and we're going to do that very soon. I love it. Scotty's back, and hopefully nobody else is getting hurt. Knock on wood. Keep things really nice and going towards more and more good health. Kelly Olynyk come back. Yeah, let's start stringing some W's together. Cleveland, you're next. Let's play you tomorrow. You may be overconfident since your record is so good right now. You may, think that you got something over on us in the first game of the season. Well, you did. Well, let's see if there's a different outcome or a closer game when we play y'all in Cleveland tomorrow. That's right. Cleveland Cavaliers, Toronto Raptors preview tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Raptor Free Channel. Also previewing the second game of the 905 versus the Long Island Nets. Tomorrow's a double duty day. Yeah, we got 2 games tomorrow. Long Island Nets, Raptors 905, and the Raptors are in Cleveland. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Stargate saying, I'm with you on this 905 coach thing, Lex. However, I believe Coach Evo would have been should have been the 905 coach. Yeah, I would have liked that. I thought that was my choice. I was predicting that this summer, saying that Evo may be likely to be the 905 coach this year. But no, I think that Evo is valuable to Darko as the shooting coach, as evidence from his very specialized role of working with Gary Trent and Grady last year and working with Oshai and Grady this year. That he very much is shadowing and hanging around with Grady a lot. So I think he wants Simovic to be with Grady wherever he is. Andrew Jones is a young coach, and you want to give him this experience. That's the whole reason why Andrew's there, is so that he can get a taste of how to head coach and get that on his resume. It's in some ways a resume builder for this guy. But once again, I'll say this: is Andrew Jones a coach of the future for the Raptors organization, or is he just a coach of the future for any organization? And why are the Raptors using their resources and their positions for the whole basketball community? I mean, that's noble, that's admirable, but also at the same time, is this strategic in a competitive sense? Is this something we're building for ourselves? And I'm wondering about that. How many other teams are doing this service for the basketball community with their coach's position on their G League affiliate? How many other teams are doing this? And how many of the other teams are not switching their coaches in and out, and they're focusing on developing the young players with an experienced coach that doesn't have to learn the ropes while they're doing it? That's the thing I'm saying right here that annoys me about the arrangement we have with our G League team. Stargate saying when Bruce walked in, the crowd cheered. Nab was there as well. I knew it was real serious that Nab Bhatia was there. When they showed Nab Bhatia sitting at the courtside, I'm like, man, what is Nab doing at a 905 game? This man has not missed any Raptors game. You can start coming to 905 games like you go to Raptors games? You can't be in two places at once unless you're rich enough to clone yourself, Nab Bhatia. Yeah, no, it got real serious then. And I was like, man, if Nab is there and the whole entire Raptors team is there, Darko's there, they're all watching. Andrew Jones is under so much pressure right now, and he's got to try and get this win. Well, it wasn't to be. And it's too bad, man. You had that big, huge audience. A home opener. Everybody's there. No, that's no good. That's no good. Bruce got an ovation. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Isaac's saying he's got me on blast. He's saying like, subscribe, and watch on 1.75 speed. Yeah, watch everything on 1.75 speed. I time travel, and I feel like I'm getting ahead of my day if I'm watching things like content really fast. Like, ooh, I'm cheating the world because I'm fast. It's such a silly mentality to have. Stargate saying Lawson has his whole family there, a whole section. Yeah, it was a home game for him. And he did the Dylan Brooks to us. He said, this is my house. The Paramount Fine Food Center was AJ Lawson's house last night. And I can't hate on that. He's a Canadian guy coming back and doing his Canadian thing. Well, hey, good for you, man. Maybe we need to get you on the 905. Why isn't AJ Lawson on our team? Was he a draft pick or something? That's probably why. Smooth's here. Okay, he wants to talk about Vernon Maxwell some more. A little more info on Vernon Maxwell. Context as to why he was kicked off the team. When the Rockets traded for Clyde Drexler, they were struggling badly. They traded Otis Thorpe for Drexler and Tracy Murray. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that somewhat. And Tracy Murray was involved in some weird things with the Rockets at that time, and they ended up being on our team because of that up here in Toronto in the first year. Kareem saying, not really understanding why Mobo didn't get any burn. I think he's permanently on the big squad. He's clearly edged his role there. I know it's exactly why, Kareem. Listen to this. Seriously. The reason why Mobo didn't play last night is could be that he's very sore from battling the Minnesota Giants. You know, in some ways, he's our backup center right now. Fernando's out, so he's got to back up Jakob. And in some ways, he's more important to be on the big squad because of depth issues than Shed and Walter and Battle. That in some ways, our depth on the front court for the big squad is so thin right now that we can't afford to have Mobo play in this 905 game last night and get hurt when he is the first backup for Jakob right now. So that's really the main thing right there. I think it's two things. Shed and Battle did not play very much in the Minnesota game. They came in for like less than 10 minutes each, and they didn't really get tired out. Mobo played a longer period of time against Minnesota, and it's a back-to-back situation then if he's playing at Long Island Nets. So I think that's why he was dressed in the 905 gear and sitting on the bench with the 905, not dressed in street clothes with Scotty and them on the other side. And that is to designate, yeah, you're a 905 player. It's just that the coach is not playing you tonight. And it may be under the direction of Darko and the main squad because they want you to be saved and free from, just think about it. If Mobo had played, God forbid, and he got hurt last night, think about how much that would hurt the Raptors on the main squad right now. We couldn't afford that. So that's why he got a DMP. It's not because he's free and clear of the 905 and he's just automatically made the big squad. This is such a thing that we got to stop doing. It's all fluid. There's no like graduating to the big squad and never returning to 905. Maybe someday there is a moment where you stop going out on bikes with your friends and you never go out and play with them ever again, but you don't really take note of it. There will be a time where these guys play their last G League game ever, just like Fred VanVleet. But Who's to say when that is? And in the middle of the season, we're going to just say, oh, Jonathan, you've graduated to the Raptors. You won't play on the 905. No, signified by he's wearing the 905 warmups. He is available to play, but they chose to DMP him probably because of the reasons of what I just said. So yeah, it's that's what's up with that. If he was not on 905, he would be sitting in street clothes over there with Cowboy Brown and Scotty Barnes, his best friend. So that's not it right there. Smooth saying, and Maxwell had expressed concerns over his minutes being cut. The team qualified for the playoffs as a 7th or 8th seed and had to go play Utah in the first round, a 5-game series, game 1 in Utah. Okay, we're going over the classic card from like 3 days ago. It's funny. Andrew saying Shed was dishing last night. You can tell Jacoby has some real scoring chops. He has some get after it. He's got a lot of energy. He's a two-sided player. He has defensive stuff that he adds to things along with the mentality. I like the fact that he missed a couple shots and kept rebounding his own shot until he made it. That tenacity was awesome. And, you know, from the guys that were in the arena last night, he was one of the ones that they were saying that was working hard. You know, we'll have to see. It could very well be that Shed and Battle were maybe told by the Raptors to kind of chill out and not go all out for this game. And maybe that's why they weren't. But meanwhile, Jacoby didn't play against Minnesota. So he could go all out, you know. I don't know. There could be all kinds of underlying instructions to the players, whether it's Mobo, Shed, or Walter, that they got to keep in mind while they're out there. And it could very well be that Jamison Battle and Jamal Shed were told not to go all out because you're necessary for the big squad still right now. They don't want them to be risky and dangerous and going all out. You know, there's different levels of playing all out. And that could be very well part of why these guys were not as intense as they seem like they would normally be right there. Let's see. Smooth Sand, and that game 1 final play of the game, Maxwell freelanced and took the shot, and the Rockets lose, putting them in a hole. The Rockets front office immediately suspended Vernon Maxwell and asked him to leave. Yeah, we talked about this already, Smooth. It's all good. I'm glad you're circling back on this, but this is kind of like 3 days ago stuff. We went on to talk about how he's going to drink beer and chill, further angering the front office and his teammates. Rockets win the chip. Maxwell does not get a ring. That's why. Okay. Well, in some ways, I mean, Maxwell's going to be Maxwell. Okay, but giving us more details on why that whole thing happened that way. Stargate saying Shamshay needs to work with Yak a bit more. Needs to learn that roll to the basket tactic. Man, everything's so elementary for Shamshay. When I see him out there on the court, there's so much raw talent that he does good things. But you guys got to understand, he is like in kindergarten right now. And the fact that, like, you know, I know y'all want so much for him so soon and so quickly, but it can't happen that way if we're going to do this properly. We really got to baby step him, and we can't skip any of the steps. And Darko said this very emphatically about Ulrich. We cannot skip any of the steps with him. And y'all may want threes from him. Y'all may want all kinds of plethora of offensive stuff from him, but he's not ready for this, guys. I'm watching him, and he's not ready for play calls for him. He's garbage man. He needs to get the rebounds. He needs to make defensive plays. He needs to finish in transition. He can get stuff that way. But him being a focal point of part of the play system right now is not right because he's not going to be – it's just not right yet. And in some ways, don't worry about this. He's 18. You will see where he's when he's 19. See where he's when he's 20. And see where his body is too, how it's fleshed out and even bigger and muscular. Y'all – just be patient with Shamshay. I know y'all want so much from him already, but he's just so green. And he really is like got to get some of the basics down right now, like two-handed rebounds. Grab it with two hands and bring it down, Ulrich. And when you are guarding someone, mirror their footsteps and dance with them. You got to dance with them. In some ways, he's kind of like awkward with his steps and timing of trying to cover people. And he's late on some of them. There's also times where people are attacking the basket. He's not elevating to try and rim protect. He's just standing underneath like this, and they're making the shot over him. There's all kinds of areas where he will improve, and we just need to let him cook on his time, his schedule to get to where he's going to get to. And I know everybody wants to see it all right now, but wait in 2 or 3, 4 years. Wait until you see what he looks like then. Oh, my gosh. He's going to be amazing. Andrew's saying crazy that Shamshay is even the youngest player in the G League. That's not crazy. He looks like it. He may not look like it physically, but he looks like it as far as his skills. And we got to remember, he hasn't had very much basketball education on this continent. Almost everything has been gotten in BAL, in the Basketball Africa League. And it's a different place over there. It's a different kind of game. And in some ways, it's more physical. And in some ways, it's just not as organized. And maybe the teaching isn't as intense or helpful as the stuff he's going to get now from Darko's staff and Andrew Jones. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. Just let it come within time. Let it come within time. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. Just came back from my daughter's game. We were trailing by 10 at some point, but managed to focus, regroup, and made it back on top 2 to win. Fantastic. I love hearing that Fiercely Salsera Jr. has won another basketball game this morning, very early. Y'all play very early on a Saturday. That's pretty cool. Good stuff, MJ. Proud of your daughter, and keep on going. She got game. That's what we're saying. That's right. She got game. Smooth saying, even Michael Jordan thought Vernon Maxwell was crazy, man. Yeah. Well, Vernon Maxwell was crazy. He was Mad Max. There's no denying that. That's right. Fiercey saying, late to the stream, but reading comments to catch up. There you go, Fiercey. All right. Cream saying, Kennedy and Charlie have a different mission statement than what Andrew Jones and 905 have. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want these guys here. It's not, we do better with less talent, with more organization and guys that know their role. In some ways, we need The Rock to come down there and tell these jabronis to know their role. Seriously. This is the same thing that happened last year with certain G League players. It's the same stuff over and over again. That's why it's really special to get players like Omoroy or other guys that actually have roles that they kind of already know and they want to play in that kind of sphere of things, and it adds up to helping with the team concept. It's when you got these guys who want to call their own number and think they're superstars and they're just really dying to make the league. They will be the most selfish players on your team. And it's annoying, man. It's so annoying. Smooth saying Max had his best games versus the Bulls. All right, you're kind of doing a Milbester today. Smooth, I'm not going to lie. I know you're leading the trivia right now, but you're kind of doing a Milbester on Vernon Maxwell right now, just so you know. Max had his best games versus the Bulls and even participated in MJ's charity game at the old Chicago Stadium, a sign of respect by the GOAT. There you go. Stargate saying Disu wasn't bad as well. Drew needs to play Mobo and O'Banner with Shed, Chomshay, and Jacoby together. I like that combination. That'd be a lot of fun. It's too bad we didn't see Jonathan at all. It'll be interesting to see how they handle tomorrow. I mean, it's not really like they can travel real easy between, but they can. The game will be in Mississauga in the afternoon, and then they'll have a game in Cleveland. And will there be any double duty, like traveling really quickly across the border between the 9:05 game and the Raptors regular team game? Will there be anybody who does double duty? And how will they split them if they don't? Will that we send the most of the guys that have been playing with the regular Raptors continue to go with them or not be against Long Island Nets tomorrow? That could very well be true. I think that's very possible, probably for sure, for Mobo, that he'll be in Cleveland and not in Mississauga because of what I said earlier about depth issues for the main squad Raptors. And then, we'll have to see. Maybe Jacoby's on assignment still because he's coming back from the injury, and they want him to be in Mississauga to play against Long Island Nets. It could be some ways they look at the rotation of what the Raptors have healthy on the main squad, and they say, you know what, Jamal, we got Davion, Scotty's back. We've got enough point guard. You're going to stay behind and stay. I'm not Davion, Jamal. You're going to stay behind and stay in Mississauga tomorrow. We'll have to see. This will be very interesting to see. I don't know how to predict this exactly without seeing how they're going to deal with these guys individually. Jamison Battle, another question. What's going to happen with him tomorrow? Is he going to be in Cleveland or is he going to be in Mississauga? That's what we got to find out. We're going to find that out tomorrow. That's right. Andrew saying Nikola Jokic will play versus the Mavs tonight despite having his newborn son last night. No, so Jokic just had a baby last night. That's interesting. Let's see. Fiercely saying, ideally, if Raptors 905 ran the same system as Darko, it would be a great continuation of his program. Well, that's the idea. They very overtly said that this is what's supposed to be happening. But in the last 3 years, this year and 2 years before, the 905 has had mixed results with mirroring and running the actual Raptors system in that G League level. And, even with Eric Curry, with Nick Nurse, from 3 years ago, he was having a hard time getting those guys to play any semblance of the system that Nick had. Last year, Eric Curry failed miserably at getting any kind of Darko system going last year. It was really, really bad. And Drew Jones is finding out how hard it is right now to get an unselfish basketball system implemented with selfish players. And hopefully Andrew Jones can shape them up and get progress on this over the course of the season. That could be good because Eric Curry never really got any ground on this. It was the same kind of G League crap the whole entire year last year. But I have faith in some ways that Andrew Jones may be able to right the ship, but he's got to be a stern disciplinarian in some ways and be letting these guys know we're doing these things these way. And we're not doing it the way that y'all are doing it. And we got to stop this shit. That's what I got to see right there. That's right. Cream saying, is it criminal to have Shamshay practice with the big squad? I don't have patience. I'm super excited for this kid. I noticed him on the bench versus the Wolves. That may be a small bridge the staff is doing. Once again, he's a two-way, Kareem. He can float back and forth between them. He was available to play against Minnesota, but Darko didn't call his number. He's 18. In some ways, he does practice with the big squad. He's been practicing with the big squad since the summer. He went to Malaga, Spain. He's been running around with Scotty and IQ. He's a part of their group. It's not anything he's getting starved from. In some ways, he has to take the baby steps. It's like a video game, Kareem. He's got to start at 905 in this level. You're building a character, NBA 2K or whatever. He's got to start his career with what his coaches give him at this point on the development league level. He's not going to get thrown to the fire in the Raptors games. He got his NBA debut at the beginning of the season, so he's got that out of the way. So if anything happens, at least he can say he made the NBA. And that's really all that game is at the beginning of the season. But it's all steps, baby steps. And your impatience is not going to be helpful in this whole situation. In some ways, I may be doing this a lot over the next couple of years with Shamshay because everybody wants everything for him already right now. And that's not how the way things work. That's not how it works. And in some ways, we won't drop the ball on developing a great potential talent like Ulrich Shamshay. No, we don't. So we need to do this properly. And we can't do things like other teams have or rush things because we may miss out on really, really getting the absolute potential of Shamshay out of him. So that's why I say this. Your patience is not good for this. Your impatience. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, he's around them. He's practicing with them. He's a part of the main squad. And he is involved in their practices. So don't get it twisted. He's getting the development and the learning all kinds of places. It's actually really good that Andrew Jones is the coach of the 905 because he's a big man coach. And he can be down there teaching him big man stuff. That's his area expertise. Andrew Jones being a big man himself when he played basketball. He can teach a lot of really good stuff to Ulrich as his head coach on the 905. It's a good matchup there. Mike saying, I'd rather have Coach OV. It's Coach. Man, you're making me mess up. It's Evo. You got it backwards. It's IVO, not OV. I'd rather have Evo's attention with our big team at the moment, guys. Yeah. I mean, I thought that he was the logical one because in some ways I thought that Darko wanted to further his Serbian countrymen to get his career further. And that's really what the job in 905 is it's a boost to that individual on their resume to show what it is. Now, it may not help the person like Eric Curry, but that's up to the coach and the success that they get. It helped Patrick Mutombo. It helped Jerry Stackhouse. It helped Jama. But, that's the whole thing. If the coach can get results and get good things happening, Evo is the right-hand man of Darko. He's like Nate Bjorngren for Darko. And in some ways, he wants him traveling with him. I guess that was part of it right there. Yeah. Stargate saying Shed and Jacoby should stay on assignment for now. Mobo and Battle can travel to Cleveland. I like that diversion. I think that's right. Because in some ways, Battle is helping us with floor spacing, and he's playing at a very good level and making his clip. And Mobo has absolutely been fantastic for the Raptors on the main squad. I would make this diversion. I think you're right. I think Jacoby Walter staying back in 905 it would do him more better, first of all, because he may get a DMP tomorrow if he goes to Cleveland. And then Shed, I think that he just needs this. And if Shed does have any problem playing for the 905, he needs to get over it right away. Seriously, he needs to get over it because it's the best thing for him right now. It really, really is. Kareem saying, I hope Open Gym is documenting everything Shamshay does, even when he sleeps. All right, I'm gonna give Kareem a dunk. He was getting dunks last night. It was kind of funny because him and Neon Moon were calling out dunks for each other in the chat last night. And I was marking them. You guys were getting dunks. It's hilarious. All right, you're getting a 3-pointer. 473 is where Kareem is. All right, let me look at the box score a little bit more. We're gonna look at the team stats real quick for the game last night. The Raptors 905 technically shot better than the Long Island Nets, but you wouldn't have thought that if you saw it. They got more shots than them even too, 103 to 100. The place where we got beat is a 3-point percentage. We shot 25%, which is garbage. They shot 36. They made one more three than us. And then the free throw line. They were way more aggressive at getting in the lane and getting to the line. And Long Island Nets made 14 of 17 free throws for 82%. And that was a big key right there. We were not getting the free throw line at all. At one point, we were 1 for 4 in like the fourth quarter. We were 1 for 4 from the free throw line. We got in the free throw line 4 times, and we missed 3 of them. And once again, these free throws missed in 905 are worth more than 1 point because they do a rule where over the most of the game, if you take 1 free throw for 2 points, you don't shoot twice. They're cutting down the time. And if you miss that free throw, well, that's 2 points lost right there. And that's why the free throw shooting is so important on the G League level. And these guys aren't taking it seriously. 3 for 8 and 38% from the free throw line. That's garbage, man. And that is something Andrew Jones was mad about. We did out-rebound them, 57 to 42. That's pretty good. 21 offensive rebounds. That's amazing. 33 assists. These are a lot of good stats. How the hell did we get blown out by them by the end of the game? This is weird, man. This is weird. 12 steals, 10 blocks for 905, 26 turnovers. That's part of it right there. So many turnovers that caused 26 points for the other team. So turnovers, free throws, the 3-pointers. These are 3 areas where there are problems. We won the points in the paint by 2 points, 66 to 64. Yeah. In some ways, it's like we couldn't draw any fouls. And then when we did get the foul line, very few times we couldn't hit the foul shots. So it is what it is. I'm going to say AJ Lawson won this game for that team. And it's just what it is. And the Long Island Nets stunned us. They beat us in our home opener in Mississauga. And it's too bad because we had a fantastic crowd. The main squad was there, and so was Nab Bhatia, Stargate, and Blackhawk. And it didn't matter. They still shat the bed and lost it by the end. And I blame those guys in the third quarter not playing together as a team. That's a big part of it right there. That's right. That's right. Mike is saying he's the coach we took from the Knicks. No, he's not. Azotam is the coach that we took from the Knicks, and we didn't take him from the Knicks. We hired him, and then he caused this whole shitstorm of stupidity because of dumb stuff. Azotam is still employed by the Raptors, but he's not that kind of coach. He's a highlight coach. He's a guy who puts together highlight reels. He's not a coach that sits on the bench, really. Although he has sat on the bench and been around. He did do an interview at halftime last year, right at the end of the season. And I felt like that was a big FU, 2-finger salute to the Knicks and saying, yeah, we still have this guy employed by us because they let him see the light of day and he got on TV for once. No, he's like a coach in the offense. He's the kind of guy who's kind of like going and cutting highlights and making packages for the team, like a video coach. He's a video coach. And he's not like a coach like Evo. Evo's Serbian. Azotam's from Africa, I believe. So, yeah, those are the difference. G saying, I think Joker has his son November 10th and just now came back from the Mavs game. He was out for personal reasons. They were able to beat Memphis without him and Jamal stepping up. Wow. That's a pretty impressive. G saying, Jamal is playing well, and even Wiggins had a great game for Golden State, scoring 30. I follow the Canadians. Our Canadian team is going to be stacked. Yeah, I'm not worried about Wiggins. In some ways, I don't know if he's going to be ever back on the Canadian team at this point. If he didn't make the team this year, I don't know if he will in the future. There's too many good young players, and the room should be there for them. I'd rather have Benedict and Shaden Sharp than have Wiggins come back around. But Jamal Murray, yeah, he should be a part of the future for Team Canada. Hopefully, he can take it more seriously than he did this summer. I would say that. Mike's saying respect, Lex. No problem, Mike. Project Truth always. All right, let's do the classic card. No. How tall is Eugene Omoruyi? I believe he's like 6'9". He's like not super tall. He's like 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". but he's wide and he's got that Draymond power. You've seen that Draymond power. He's got very physical player. He can like scrap and hold people physically. Yeah, yeah. 18 points, 10 boards is monstrous. Yeah, I love that. That's the right step. I was so happy when I saw us get him. I've liked him for a while, and I wanted him on this team. In some ways, he's our Justice Winslow this year. He's our Justice Winslow this year. He's better than Justice, though. Honestly, he's not as good offensively, but he's better at rebounding and defense. And Justice was pretty damn good at those last year. Let's just put it that way. All right, classic card. Give me the full name answer. This is a weird one. This is pretty classic. It looks like kind of like Brandon Carlson a little bit. Not really. That's Ed Neely behind him. I know Ed Neely. Ed Neely's behind him. But who is this classic card of the day, guys? It's Kyle Sigler. No, it's not Kyle Sigler. I watched the Kyle Sigler stunted growth. It's sad, man. That guy's in a real mental place, man. Eugene is a very strong dude. Very, very strong dude. This guy, who is this, though? This is a weird one, man. I'll put him right up close. Who the hell is that? Is that Christian Laettner? No, it's not. It's not Christian Laettner, so don't put that there. Now, who is this classic card of the day? Look at Ed Neely. He looks like he's about to menace him from behind. He's like, ah! Ed Neely was a football player playing basketball. Ed Neely. Oh, Phoenix Suns, Chicago Bulls, Ed Neely. All right, who is this, guys? Let's get a clue. Okay. All right, you're half-assing, full ass. You're half-assing. That is a center. That is a forward center, as it says on the bottom. Brent Berry is wrong, Mike. Brent Berry is wrong. Brent Berry was a guard forward. This is a forward center. And Kareem, you better get this right, man. You're half-assing me, bro. Half-assing me. This guy's wearing the Alonzo Mourning 33 before Alonzo showed up there. Yeah. Who is it? Come on, Kareem. Come on. You're half-assing. He's got the last name. Yeah, that's it. Alec Kessler. That's the name. Yeah, Smooth. Smooth just seagulled you, Kareem. You guys are at the top too. It's like you're so close, and this is like a battle. This was literally like a little mini battle right here. Kareem said Kessler, but he didn't remember his first name, and Smooth came in and seagulled it. It is Alec Kessler. Alec Kessler. You want me to give it to Kareem? No, man. Come on now. We're a competitive bunch. Alec Christopher Kessler, and this is his rookie card, guys, for Miami. He played for Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs, just like Anthony Edwards. I'm not. I'm going to give it to you because you did the full name. That's the rules of the game. He gave you the clue. He put the French fry on the floor, and you seagulled it, and you just took it off his plate. Yeah, it's too bad. It's just how it works, man. It's just how it works. Mike was just 30 seconds behind, and Kareem was timed out. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. You got to remember to shoot your shot the right way. All right, we won't make it too crazy, although it should kind of be maybe a big number because that's not an easy. That's not an easy classic card, honestly. Smooth 4 days in a row with the classic card. I'm gonna give you 150 for it. 150. All right, Kareem. You gotta. This is a lesson here. This is a lesson. The classic card is a lesson today here. That's right. Let's see. Mike, you were 37 seconds behind. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, too, is you got to know the timing with it and shoot your shot right, man. And in some ways, maybe it's better to hold off than just give half the answer because you give a clue to Smooth, and then he's like, oh, Kessler. Well, there was Alec Kessler. And then, boom, he gets it. So don't even say if you only have half the name and you can't write it in. You wrote that's Kessler. That's where he messed up right there. He just wrote that's Kessler. Why does his last name make me think of Kramer from Seinfeld? Kessler is like a fake Kramer. This is like the Kramer of the NBA. Oh, hey Jerry. Oh, I need to get some cereal out of your fridge. Oh, Kessler, get out of my house. Get out of my house, Kessler. Oh, okay. And Neely is Newman. Neely. Ooh, Ed Neely. Ooh, Neely. Walker Kessler, Kessler Adams. That's right. Nako's telling me this is exactly why we can't have just Kessler because it'd be Walker Kessler. I wonder if they're related. Alec Kessler, Walker Kessler. Is that your son, Alec Walker? That's right. The player behind him is Ed Neely. That's who that is. Look at him. He looks like Tommy Boy. Does he look like? Who does he look like? Who does Ed Neely look like, guys? Just write in the comments. Tell me who you think Ed Neely looks like in this card. Yeah, he was a load. Let's just put it that way. This guy, you think Eugene Omoruyi was strong? Ed Neely was a tank, man. He was a tank, man. Yeah. Stargate saying Eugene just needs to work on conditioning, look gas in the fourth, but was still trying hard. Yeah, he's going to be he may be tired just because maybe he hasn't played a whole lot recently. Like, I don't know if he was doing anything in G League or any team at all, and he's just showing up, and this is like his first game in a while. Because I don't know if he may have been a free agent, just kind of in limbo, hanging around, and he may have some conditioning that he's got to get now that he's in the rhythm of being on 905. Smith saying that's a 989-90 card. Yeah, I believe that's right. We can see it in the corner. It's 80. It's 91. He was drafted in 1990 by the Houston Rockets. There you go. That's why he kind of knows him, because he got drafted by his team at the time. 12th pick in the draft, too. Yeah, he looks like an American Gladiator. Who? Neely. He looks like an American Gladiator. He looks kind of like Punisher or something like that. He looks kind of like the guy in Doom. He looks like the guy in Doom when you're playing the old video game Doom, first person shooter. You're like in some weird alien satanic world. He looks like that little head in the middle when you're running around on Doom. If you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Mike, doesn't he look kind of like Doom? You know that game. You probably played it. It's an awesome game. And Kessler looks just like some like stoner dude, like, bro, Spicoli, man. Mr. Han, you're harshing on my pizza, bro. Why did you take my pizza, bro? He looks like Bruce Jenner. That actually is pretty good, too. Yeah, he does kind of look like Bruce Jenner. He looks like a heftier Bruce Jenner. He looks like Caitlyn. Kareem said the whole world loves the City Edition Duncan Raptor. Can the organization keep the flooring for the rest of the year? Are they listening to the people? So much money spent. Why not make a use of it? I know. I want to see that floor at least 6 more times this season. Raptors, come on now. Put that City Edition logo jersey floor out there 6 more times at least this year. There needs to be more of these games with this City Edition stuff. It's awesome. That's where we're circling back. Share the love for the City Edition designs, the court, the jerseys, the banner for Vince. Let's share the love for that. That's what we're talking about right now. Yeah, Mike's saying facts. The Doom guy, yeah, Wolfenstein, too kind of. Yeah, he kind of does look like a Wolfenstein face. He's just got that jawline from the Doom player. That game was so fun. It was scary though. I remember like in the 90s playing Doom on my PC, and I would turn all the lights off in my room, and I put on like the Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails with all of his crazy ambient like clicks and stuff. And I'd be walking around on Doom playing it with the headphones on with the music, and it was so scary. Like, because sometimes stuff would just jump out at you in that game and scare the hell out of you. Like some big the tooth like aliens like and you're like, oh crap. And then the big like ball things with the eye would come around the corner, and you'd be like, oh hell, what did I come into this room for? And there's like keys you have to find and secret like doors and passageways. Man, that game was a lot of fun, but it was scary. And in some ways, at some point you're like, man, this game's too hard to play like normally. I've got to play God mode. And basically you don't die at all, and you just kind of run around. But it was so crazy. And some of the creatures you fought were straight up satanic. Like, it was crazy. Some people could watch that game and be like, yeah, this game's evil. This game is fucked up, man. It was so fun, man. Yeah, Mike's saying the monster noises would creep me out. I know, you'd be walking, and if you turn the lights off and it's dark on the game, you could be going through a part, and it could be very scary because you hear like a little grumble, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And then all of a sudden they're like, wow! And they're like, and some of them threw fire at you, and it was very dangerous. Yeah, that game was fun. I'm reminiscing about Doom today, guys, because Ed Neely looks like the guy from Doom. Anybody who knows that game knows what I'm talking about right now. All right, let's do a recap real quick. Raptors 905 unfortunately lost their home opener against Long Island Nets last night. They're 1-5 for the season. This is not the start that Andrew Jones wanted or any of us wanted. My 3 stars of the game yesterday, Jacoby Walter, Eugene Elmaroy, and Jamal Shed. And, it's very telling that in this first 6 games of the 905 season, I have a different star player for each game, first star. DJ Carton, Quincy Guerriere, Tyreek Key, Evan Gilliard, Charlie Brown, and Jacoby Walter have all been the first stars so far this season. Let's see. Leo, have you done your life tip yet today? Let's see if he's got anything up yet. Let's see. I said, learn to be calm and you will always be happy. There you go. I like that. Just stay calm and be happy. I like that. That's a good words of wisdom. If y'all have a fantasy team, set up your fantasy team. There's no birthdays today, unfortunately, guys. And check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club show. It's got stupid stuff on there. It's fun. Yeah. Yeah. Kareem saying, laugh out loud. Doom was crazy. It was. It was a lot of fun. In some ways, I kind of want to dig it up and play it again just to kind of relive what I was just talking about. It was very crazy. Trevor's saying, I used to be scared of the dark, but now when I see my light bill, I'm scared of the light. Trevor. Trevor's hilarious, man. This man, come on now. You making me, I don't think you get scared of your light bill. Honestly, you're out there giving grands to people at grocery stores. You're not scared of your light bill. Come on, Trevor. 228. I'm giving you a 5-pointer for your joke. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny stuff. All right, we'll end it on that note. Tomorrow, I'll preview both the games tomorrow. Doubleheader, Raptors and Raptors 905, game day tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have all the pertinent information, the ref reports, the latest lineup news, all the fun stuff we do on the Raptor Freak channel. You know what's going to happen. Yeah, Naka's saying cow skeletons are what creep me out. You mean like out in the field, like where you see cows get vaporized by aliens and you see just like the skeletons on the ground? That creeps you out? That's interesting. You know, they had that kind of stuff in Doom. Gerald, did you ever play Doom? Because that seems like a game you would enjoy a lot. It's some sort of crazy game. Maybe it's ahead of your time because it was like came out when I was younger and more your age. And maybe it's like too old, but it's a very interesting first-person shooter. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Cow skeletons. Yeah, I think that, in the game, if you shot certain animals or certain aliens or whatever the fuck they were, they'd like crumble and they become like little bone like things on the ground, like the big ball things with the one eye. If you shot them and they died, they'd like go in the mush on the ground and maybe have some bones sticking out like cow skeletons. Yeah, I remember that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors 905. Let's go WNBA Toronto. And let's get more W's tomorrow. It's all about the W's. That's right. Yeah, that cow level from Diablo was fun. I never played Diablo. I didn't play that one, though. But I know that was a very similar kind of popular first-person shooter game also. All right, y'all. Have a great Saturday. Raptorize your day. Touch grass. I'm proud of our team and the graphics and the things that they produce as far as our courts, our jerseys, our retirement banners. Yeah, we're top-notch organization in the world of sports, and we are getting recognized for it. So share the love for the Raptors and the graphic designers and creative directors that have steered us to this acclaim that we're getting right now. Share the love for your Raptors, baby. Let's go, Raptors.